sleeping like a baby.
That's me and my best friend in the whole world, Big Brown Bear. We did everything together back then, and still do today.
Hey, Zach, what's that? Turn around and talk to Mommy for a sec. What's that? Is it a bear?
It's a bear.
And who's the cake for? Whose birthday is it?
Percy's.
That's right.
Whoa.
Where is the bear?
It is a bear.
Yeah.
Yay.
What's next? Mira, amor.
I wish I could be him, be absorbed by him, be worn down through love as opposed to stress like him. Perfectly round, soft, peaceful, no work, no responsibilities, no capacity to harm, no stress, no noise, only soft. A completely boneless bear, stuffed with my emotions, friend-shaped, and my love is the same shape as him. Each day he becomes more fragile, and I fear I will hug him to death. Quietly and unconditionally, a teddy bear mirrors love, occupying the space between sleeping and wakefulness, dreaming and nightmares, adolescence and adulthood. Most teddy bears find purpose and joy, taking on the role of a transitional object in our lives, acting as a travel guide, providing comfort as we move from one phase to the next. First I carried him, now he carries me. He's the object of my affection, carrying me through the pain, carrying me through the static, protecting me from the memories, bestest Bearington friends forever. For him, I am fragile. For him, I am enough. For him, I can keep pushing forward. I am enchanted by the bear, and my greatest fear is that I will slip away with him in my arms, but in death he will not be joining me. That I will helplessly have to let go. That it will be goodbye for good. Every suicide note I've ever written has been a love letter to the bear and an apology for leaving him behind. Even if we are buried together, decay and return to ashes together, there is no guarantee that he will be coming with me. My world begins and ends with him, and the rest of the world is mediated by images. As the people close to me fade away, the images only become more clear. As reality is gradually overtaken by a series of spectacles, the images wash over me, and I dissolve into the background. As more and more aspects of the world are brought to me in my room, negating my need to bring myself out into the world, I commit my gaze to the screen, and the world is held at bay. Log on, tune in, drop out. I log on to the Dextronet, tune into the infinite stream of posting, and I drop out of reality.
One saved message.
Hey Zach, it's Dad. Just want touch base with you, see what's up. And give me a shout on my cell. Thanks, bye bye.
To delete the message, press 7. To save, press 9. Your message will be saved for 3 days. I have no more messages for you.
It has become clear that the internet itself is psychoactive, a digital immersion to immediately pacify any discomfort I experience through the emulated warmth of long-form, online, virtual escapism. The scrolling of the images is the perfect sedative. Like anything psychoactive, I've gained a tolerance over time, requiring me to go deeper for longer in order to experience the same relief, inevitably reaching a depth where the emptiness I feel seems as bottomless as the web itself. A machine generating an anxiety and uneasiness that only it can relieve. A viciously downward cycle of dependence is generated, and at one point, I would have to connect to the internet, but now requires a deliberate action in order to disconnect. I don't take tolerance breaks. My tolerance breaks me. I am terminally online. Late one evening, I came across a series of images, and it was as if I was peering into my own room. Their mess reflects my mess. Each room with a unique arrangement of objects distributed through a series of dysfunctional behavioral patterns. Possessed by my possessions, the gift of hoarding is a sensitivity to the physical world, the texture, color, and shape of things. An unsustainable curse of obsession to take objects in is met with unbearable distress to try and let go of them, shutting me in from a world I am sensitive to, leaving me inside a space I've become increasingly desensitized to. It's all about the discovery process, unearthing a treasure that has been cast aside. When I'm shoulder deep in the bin, my senses truly come alive. The search and rescue of objects is electric. I'm completely beside myself in the moment of discovery. The objects serve as a proxy for the loss, to replace the deficit left behind, to experience control over how I feel through the complete loss of control over my environment. To let go of something would be to inflict abandonment upon the inanimate, something they would never inflict upon me. The collection arrests development, an attempt to suspend the inevitable downward mobility of time, to make things stand still, to allow me to forget, to lock myself away to a time before everything became shattered, to collect and hold onto every possible fragment of you. The infinite chase for relief, the next image for my consumption, the next object for my collection, to take something in and give another piece of myself away. Every object has a perceived functionality and a justification for why I cannot let go of it. This perceived function is superseded by its true function, to exist as a piece in a collection and be held onto for dear life, to not have to face another loss, to exert control over my environment that promises to swallow me whole. This isn't just a collection of the objects themselves, but of the time and stories contained within them. A series of objects in communication with each other, fueling my drive for completeness, fueling my desire to virtuously save them from destruction and decay, diverting them from the landfill into the dump that is my home. There is, however, no possibility for completeness in a collection of found objects dragged home. When everything is slipping through my grasp, I can still exert control over my environment. I can exert control over the way that I feel, no matter how temporary. I can exert control over the method I choose to destroy myself. By holding on, I never have to let go. By shutting you out, I'm not waiting for you to leave. My relationships have been replaced with objects, and reality has been replaced with images. This is my resignation from the perception of a harsh world. Shut in and shut off. The Teddy Bear Adventure Clubhouse was a nest born out of neglect, an expression of my stasis, an expression of my apathy. The mess keeps people out, fostering a physical and psychological space to exist unchallenged. Inside here, I'm insulated from the memories. I'm insulated from the noise. I'm gradually swallowed by my surroundings. This is the actualization of my alienation, a physical manifestation of my illness. The more objects I take in, the more it keeps people out. A certain degree of softness needs to be maintained in my room in order to soften the impact of my decisions and the realization that I am a spectator even in my own life. Overwhelmed by information, resigned to passivity, with a desperate desire for time to stand still. If these walls could talk, they would say nothing. Their silence is their judgment, their indifference, their condemnation. The images coalesce around me, bringing me relief, bringing my annihilation. Cursed by the images, they devour me piece by piece, consuming me with the same vigor as I once consumed them, bleeding onto every surface, saturating my vision. I look around desperately for the bear, but in this moment, I've been left here alone in my room. A room where as it begins to gain coherency, it just as quickly collapses and reforms into another. Every winding path I could have possibly taken converges here in this infinite corridor. Everything has been stripped away in exchange for a labyrinth of my own subconscious design. Wandering through it in this self I had no choice but to inhabit, its layout is constantly rearranging with no defined entry or exit points. The structure breathes. It pulses with the memories embedded in it. Everything I hold dear is gone. Everyone is gone. Even the bear has been left behind. I am alone with the vicious intrusion of memories in these infinite corridors. Corridors of my life where the screaming is so loud that every room becomes a mouth to scream back into the abyss. Corners of my life where I can no longer avert my gaze, where memories hidden from plain sight come into view and devour the horizon. Corners of my life that are nothing but a series of closing doors, locking behind me.